Okay. Welcome. Thanks for joining us for the second time. This is our second broadcast of
Yeah,
Therapy My Way's talk show.
yeah.
Today, we're going to be discussing narcissism. Um, I'm Fred Holtz. I am a licensed psychologist here at Therapy My Way, located in Plainview, New York. And I'm with,
Mark Tinger. I'm a mental health counseling intern working under Fred Holtz's supervision.
but soon to be your own person.
Oh yeah, soon to be
So,
my person.
so today we're going to talk about it's a serious topic, but we're going to present it in a fun way. I hope. Uh, let me just see the viewers. Zero. Okay, perfect. Oh, you're on? I only see zero. That's okay, no problem. So, why the concern about narcissists? The thing is, and this is going to start the conversation.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a difference between a bad relationship and one that's with a narcissist. Yeah, I assume a lot of the audience that you've been in bad relationships. They're not pleasant. They're hurtful when they break up. There's all kinds of emotions going on, but it's a little different when you're with an actual narcissist because they are very manipulative and they mess with your head. That's the
Yeah.
general summary.
And I'm coming from an unexperienced viewpoint here, so I don't know much about narcissists or narcissism,
Okay.
and I'd really like to learn uh, about how they impact relationships and how they impact a person's self-image.
A lot, yes.
Yeah, right. And also like what what makes a person like a narcissist over just
Full
I
of
don't know.
themselves. Or
Yeah,
well,
something like that.
there's lots of people who are egotistical. There's lots of people who are narcissistic. So
Hmm.
the difference between a narcissistic person, like we admire narcissistic people in society.
Hmm.
Rock stars, sports figures. Like we expect them to be full of themselves. We expect them to have like bravado and it's entertaining when a rock star is full of themselves, so to speak.
Hmm.
And that's okay. But an actual narcissist is a little different. And some of the defining points, just not all the defining points, but some of them, is they lack empathy. Like you can be full of yourself and still care about someone in trouble and care
Hmm.
about other people's feelings, but the lack of empathy and the purposefulness of what they do differentiates a narcissist from just someone who's like full of themselves.
Hmm.
That's one. You asked exactly the right questions because they definitely mess with your head. So I'm going to dispel one myth right away. So it's some of the commercial literature out there emphasizes that if you fall for a narcissist, you must be either an empath, empathetic, or you had something wrong with your childhood, or you have some defect in yourself that attracted you to the narcissist. Nothing could be further than the truth.
Yeah.
Like 70% of people who have been with true narcissists are just fine. They don't have a particularly, you know, deficit in their upbringing. Oh, so one of our viewers said, "Nice haircut. Thank you so much. I appreciate it." I, I think we have a viewer. We actually have two viewers right now,
Yeah,
and a thumbs up. We have a thumbs up, not a heart, a thumbs up.
yeah. We get the thumbs up.
So anyway, it's important to not blame the victim here, and also the term victim. You were victimized, but you're not a victim. Like you don't play the role of a victim. You were victimized by a narcissist. So the myth is that narcissists go for like weak people who are needy or
Mm,
codependent,
mm,
and it's not true. They typically go for like together people and like successful, um, prominent people because they get some kind of satisfaction in taking them down, so to speak.
mm.
So, have you had any experience with a narcissist, either a friend or someone you know, or family member or whatever?
The most I would say I had experience with was hearing about narcissism and learning about narcissism. So I'm educated on the subject. I knew they affected self image in some way. I knew that
Yes.
they had bad interpersonal relationships. But a lot of questions come to my mind, especially when it comes to them lacking empathy, right? and also where their full of themselves comes from, right? I get where a rock star or a super sports player will be full of themselves, but in terms of like just an average narcissist, where is this person getting full of themselves?
Well, the origins of narcissism, it could it could be a whole broadcast,
Mm-hmm.
but basically it comes from like lack of warmth in parenting when they were like 1 year old.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, there's another myth. The myth is that every single narcissist had a horrible, terrible, deprived, background,
Yeah.
and that's not quite true either. A lot
Mm-hmm.
of them did not have a particularly harsh or deprived environment, and so the explanation, it becomes more difficult. Where does it come from? Is a genetic defect? Is it because of parenting that they experience? There's not really a clear answer. I hate to say that.
Yeah. But it's quite complicated. I mean, it really sounds quite complicated, and that's usually the case.
Right.
Thinking about most diagnoses in like the realm of psychology, there's the whole debate of nature versus nurture, and how much does each aspect impact a person's personality, a person's psyche.
And it's usually a combination of the two, and that's true here too.
Mm.
So
Looks like
one
we got a question.
a question
Yeah.
is the only way to handle narcissist relationship to cut them out of your life. Yes. It's a very short answer. So I don't want to spin off into, but it's a great topic. So when in dealing with people leaving narcissists, it's not just like a romantic relationship where you can leave if you have to, or it's difficult, but you can leave. Sometimes it's a parent, like one of your parents is a narcissist, or a brother or sister, and you're not going to just leave. You can. Some people go what they call no contact. They just do not contact their mother, father, brother, sister, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Some people can't do that. So the secondary piece of advice or strategy is to go no conflict. Like you can respond to them, but don't engage with them. Don't fall for it. Don't start arguing. Don't start trying to convince them of something or try to get them to feel something they're incapable of. So going back for a second to the diagnostic part.
Mm-hmm.
So narcissism, a true narcissist, diagnosable narcissist, it's part of the personality disorder section
Mm-hmm.
of of how we diagnose people. So it's a personality disorder, and everyone should know they don't get better. It's pretty much permanent. Like I get a lot of questions like, should I send my narcissistic partner to therapy? The answer is no, because they're not gonna, their chances are, I should say, they're not going to get better. They can manipulate the actual therapist. They'll throw you under the bus in 2 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a tough thing. I'm a psychologist, so of course I want to think that people can get better and people can work on it. But studies have shown 2% of people with narcissistic personality disorder, 2% improve
It's very low.
after something like, I don't know, 20 weeks of therapy. So it's a tough one. Do we have another question? At what age do at what age do narcissistic people start showing signs of the trait? That's a very good question. The answer is early on. However, usually a full blown personality disorder is not diagnosable until what, over 18?
Yep.
Right.
I was over
So,
18.
and symptoms sometimes start to show at age 25. But you can see signs of narcissism early on in the lack of empathy and the lack of empathy in other kids. Keep in mind a 2, 3, 4, even up to a 6 year old, as Freud would say, like they don't have the capacity to feel guilt until like past what stage? Age 5, approximately.
Yeah, and children, it's that's why you can't diagnose
Yeah,
people age 18, because children are supposed to be kind of self-centered. The realization that there are other people thinking the same thing as me happened, around the age of 9 to 10 for me, but I've heard it be later, I've heard it be earlier.
yeah.
Like the observation of like, oh, other people are feeling things, instead of like there are people with some kind of objective, or just that they are an object.
I mean, all kids are narcissistic and
Yeah.
like my son is absolutely a narcissist because
And it's
what else
healthy.
is there? It's just about him and his food and his trucks, you know.
Yeah.
And the problem is when you're 47 years old and you're still all about you and your food and your trucks, that's a little problem.
Mhm.
So okay, some of those we have a list here. We're gonna trade off reading these and making some comments. If you have any questions, we have like two viewers. So if either viewer has a question, that'd be great.
Yeah.
We have increased like from zero. We've increased like an infinity amount of
It's almost
hundreds and hundreds of percent increase.
indescribable.
Indescribable.
It's an
The
indescribable.
skyrocketing of our viewership is just
We
indescribable.
are popularizing at an astonishing
The rate is like it's incalculable, right? From zero to two.
Yeah, how do you calculate that?
And three hearts yet.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
So we have a list here and we could discuss any one of these and we could take questions. So this is what I call toxic borderline narcissists because narcissists like a lot of psychological diagnoses, it doesn't usually come alone. There's usually other things involved. Like for example, ADHD very often involves anxiety also and other issues. So anyway, how do you know that your partner's a narcissist? Well, they will you'll find over time in the relationship that you find that they're isolating you from your friends. And it can be very, very subtle. Like all of a sudden, like somehow you're not contacting your friends as often, or your friends don't come over as much, or you don't go there as much. They're very subtle, but they are manipulative in terms of like isolating you, and that's so they can like wreak their damage eventually.
Mm. I wonder what tactics they kind of employ throughout the relationship to kind of start isolating you from your friends, or even like if we go down.
But I mean,
Yeah,
to answer the question quickly, like little comments about your friends,
yeah,
like that friend is not good for you, and like they're down, that they'll put down your friends. It is subtle.
mm,
You can skip around.
yeah. Well, there was a few of them. You're right. Isolates you from your friends. Number two is isolates you from your family. Number three is doesn't want to meet your friends or family.
Yeah.
There's a type of tactic there where they're saying, oh, I might not feel comfortable, but this is all speculation on my part.
No, no, you're right. They do subtly isolate you. They subtly do things that they know your friends can't get involved in.
Mhm.
And sometimes they're just blunt. There's sort of two types. One is overt and one is covert. Like one of them will just say your friends are terrible, stay away from them, and some of them are more subtle than that.
Mm.
They may even manipulate situations so that you disappoint a friend. Like that, let's say you have a big event and you invite your friends over and they'll get sick right
Mm.
beforehand, so you have to cancel. And that's just off the top of my head, like something to think about that they think about.
Yeah, yeah.
So another thing, I don't know if it's on the list, but what a narcissist will do in the beginning of a relationship is something called love bombing. And that is,
I've heard of that.
yeah, it's very specific. They'll come across as super romantic and really into you and like incredibly, accommodating and like the best person you ever met. And they'll sort of mirror your interests. If they find out you're into, I'm just making this up, like I don't know, collecting I can't think of it. Collecting books, seashells. Yeah, good example.
Yeah.
Because I do that. No, I don't do that. They'll like match you. Oh, I collect I can't believe you said that. I collect seashells
Great
also.
conch.
Mark, I have a conch you wouldn't believe.
Oh my god. Awesome.
And
We're
they'll,
so alike.
but they will match you like that. Oh, you read books. I'm into literature and I've read a million, and they'll try to match your interests sometimes in a subtle way, sometimes in an obvious way.
Yeah.
And it'll seem like, oh my God, this is my soulmate. This is my match made in heaven.
Yeah,
This
I
is
feel like they would get me so well. Like,
Right.
Whatever author I bring up, imagine they were just like, oh
Yep.
yeah, I know that person. Like,
and they'll literally like go read a book just so they can have a conversation to impress you. Yeah, it's very scary. So I don't know if it's on the list, but let's keep going. Okay. They keep you away from your hobbies and interests. They never seriously, they never apologize. They could step on your foot and say like, well, why was your foot in the way? Or like your feet shouldn't be on the floor, or like you should wear a steel tip shoe. Like
Wow.
okay, so just to reveal something, I was in a narcissistic relationship. That's why I know a lot about this. I even wrote a book about it. But so one thing, I think in 6 years, the person I was with never apologized. Like
6 years.
like and you like never for anything. And believe me, she did wrong things.
Yeah.
But they do not apologize because it's never their fault. Like it's never their fault, and they will they will subtly manipulate the conversation to make it that it can't possibly be their fault. We have a question, do we? How
Do you confront a narcissist,
you don't?
or
Oh,
should you? Yeah.
so here's an analogy. I'm glad you brought that up. It brings up a good point.
Yeah.
So here's my analogy. Like you're soon going to be a professional therapist, right?
Yeah.
Mike Tyson is a professional boxer, right? I can't. David Lee Roth was a professional lead singer of Van Halen. They are professionals. So your partner is a professional narcissist. You can't win an argument because you are not a professional narcissist. Also, it's impossible if you're normal to think that way. They're thinking like they attribute motivations in you that's really coming from them. And if you listen closely to a narcissist, you will hear them reveal their own personality because they will I guess it's projection. They will project on you
Sounds like it.
their real things like you're not going to be faithful. You're not a faithful person. And meanwhile, they're cheating on you.
Yeah.
That's reaction information. What is that?
That's projection.
That's projection.
And then there's something else there. Yeah, reaction information would be something different. Reaction information is difficult for me. That was my worst one.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
But no, it's not sublimation.
Aren't you reacting? Well, not to spin off to a topic,
It'd
but
be like, oh, I hate cheaters, right? So then it's reaction information is like professing my hatred of cheaters.
for something that you actually
And
want or
then,
desire.
Yeah, it's like I actually really want to do that. That's like reaction information.
Yeah, now I lost my train of thought, but that's okay.
But they will secretly do that. Like the line we were on is kind of showing a lot of these traits of narcissists. So we could even just keep going on to the next because we're getting like this theme of a manipulator,
Yes.
of somebody who's toxic in a relationship is kind of the word that I would use.
Oh, it was the apology. Oh, do we have an actual viewer? We do.
Oh yeah.
Let's see if I can read that. I don't know what that was. Wow, that's long. Is that something we can summarize? No, it's a troll. Okay, anyway.
Okay.
I was saying so they do not apologize. That no matter what it is, they don't apologize. They manipulate it so it's like your fault.
Yeah.
They will cause excessive drama, like read over the top drama, and they'll wait till you're at a party or among friends or family, and they'll try to embarrass you or manipulate you into some situation that you'll be embarrassed. And they're ruthless when it comes to that. They're never happy about. Oh, this is key. I was supposed to trade off, but I forgot.
But I'm here. I'm the learner.
So here's what's key. And I have experienced this too. They cannot stand when you have some kind of accomplishment. If they see you happy or proud or you accomplished something great or something nice happened to you or you just got lucky or something, they will downplay it, put it down, make it seem like you're bragging and you're selfish, and like they'll turn it around because they can't stand the fact that you're getting some attention or you're getting some sense of accomplishment or pride or whatever.
Yeah, life can't be about you. It has to be about me.
It has to be about them. So they will never appreciate, recognize, or congratulate you on it. It's very disturbing. But remember, first they love bombed you and made you kind of fall for them in some deep way.
Yeah.
And so you start to blame yourself, like, wow, this person was so nice, and now they're not. I must have done something wrong.
Yeah. Oh, if they like all the same stuff as me, if they're saying, all this
Exactly.
is great, and then all of a sudden I'm saying, well, look at this great thing I did. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, I feel kind of upset that you brought this up to me. How could you do this to me? And I'm sitting there, I'd be questioning my own sanity.
Yes, and you do after a while. You feel like you're going nuts. You feel like you're going crazy. And they've structured it that way. It's a setup. It's a trap and it's a setup. And if anyone has been there, 4 people. Our audience has like doubled again, 200%.
200%. That's great.
2. There's only 2. Oh, the 4 hearts. You're right. Sorry.
Our hearts are quadruple.
Got excited there,
Yeah.
but they love us.
Yeah.
It's like a small audience, but they're very dedicated.
Yeah. They're very dedicated. They're listening to every word we're saying.
Is there any concern of what that actually is up there, or like I should ignore it? Something a marriage? Oh, I know. It's one of those fake things. Yeah. So anytime I post about narcissism, we get the same thing over and over again. It's a scam. It's like a long list of stuff, and it starts out like it seems like it's real. Like, oh, I had this husband and he was cheating on me for 10 years. And then at the end it says, you should buy this spy camera.
Really?
Yeah, I know. I can't even
Wow.
read it, but I know what it is.
Yeah.
You want to read?
I was looking at it and I was like, why is there a link at the top? And then
Nah, forget it. You want to read a few starting at what, 10?
Yeah, I'll read a few.
Hit it.
Will make you feel like you are the problem.
Yeah, they'll turn things like it's sort of a spin-off on the other thing.
Yeah,
They want you to buy a hacking device. Yeah, I know.
That's what it's about.
Yep. I get them all the time. Every time they keep the bots or whatever, they look at the word narcissist and they post the same thing.
Interesting.
Ignore it, audience. This is the real us over here.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, go ahead, keep going.
Will make you feel crazy.
Yeah,
Will turn others against you. Okay,
that's a good one.
How do they do that?
They turn people against you. They will literally call family members and talk dirt about you and oh yeah, the root. They're absolutely, there's no limits.
They're master manipulators.
They are master manipulators. They will turn your family members against you, or they'll try. They're actually, it's very dangerous actually, especially, it's just they're dangerous people. It's not something to be taken lightly. Again, we're not talking about someone who's full of themselves or so, they're proud of their work or
Yeah, we're not thinking about like a cocky jerk.
no, because jerks are one. A jerk will hurt you too,
Yeah.
but not in the same way. These are the experts. They're professional manipulators.
Yeah, it seems like they go to great lengths.
Yes.
Great lengths.
And the planning, like this is my experience. The plan, like there was without getting into too much detail, there was a plan in operation for years to turn someone against me, and eventually, they do succeed.
Wow.
Do we have a real question there going on?
Oh yeah, is narcissism similar to borderline personality disorder?
It's one of the personality disorders, and there is overlap.
Mm-hmm.
And so actually the title of this, it says toxic borderline narcissist. They overwhelmingly do fit the category of borderline as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's a separate category in the DSM-5, which is the kind of the manual of mental disorders that most psychologists and psychiatrists use. The answer is there's a lot of overlap. They're very similar in the thriving of drama. They thrive on drama, causing drama, and that definitely is a trait of borderline.
Yeah. But I feel like I've seen borderline individuals be able to apologize.
Yeah, they're not correct. They're not necessarily ruthless, and
Yeah.
in fact, that element is sort of missing. They don't plan as far ahead to mess you up.
They feel more lost in their drama than it seems like somebody who's narcissistic is more calculated in their drama.
Agree. And like, I used to get the question, like, do they wake up in the morning and say, okay, I'm going to get this guy. I'm going to make him feel miserable. And I used to say, well, they don't, but I think they do. I think they actually do plan ahead. It may be unconscious, but there is a plan involved, because some of the things I've experienced, it was too long term to be just spur of the moment.
Oof. I mean, yeah, if it's a plot for years to get somebody to turn against you,
Yeah.
I can only imagine what else they were doing for you.
And they seem to have fun with it somehow, which is, sick. Anyway, a few more. They'll be charming and fascinating in the beginning. That's the love bombing.
Mm-hmm.
They'll take no interest in things that you are. The more you say, wow, I really love this song, the more they'll say, well, that's not my kind of music, or like, I'm not going to hear that. I'm not going to listen. They'll criticize and find fault every day. You want to read from 16 on? I'm just gonna
Slowly.
yeah, I'm just gonna promo my book here.
Yeah.
So they want you to buy a hacking. Oh, Terry said, Mark, talk louder. Yeah, talk louder. Thank you. Can you're blocking my book.
Okay.
She can't hear him very well. Oh, you got to speak up.
Yeah.
So this is my book, Bye Bye Narcissist. The subtitle is Identifying, Understanding, and Leaving the Narcissist in Your Life. There's a couple of amazing things about this book. One, there's a lot of books like this out there, but ours is better because there's a male and female author, both PhDs in psychology. Both have experienced it, firsthand. It's the only book on narcissism that's actually illustrated, as you can plainly see. It has checklists, it has illustrations.
Yeah.
It's a cool book, and it's on Amazon right now.
Very informative.
I think so.
Very
I
informative.
wish that book was around when I was going through this. You want to read? What are we up to?
We're on 16.
Go ahead, hit
We
it.
got will be disaffectionate.
Yeah, they'll definitely use affection as a weapon,
Yeah.
as a lure, as a something to hold back.
Yeah. Number 17 is like seems like painful for them to compliment you, and we've talked about that too,
Yeah.
where the compliments, the one time they'll compliment sounds like it would be love bombing, but even with love bombing, I'm guessing if it's like we're sharing interests, I might not even be complimenting. I might even be just
Louder.
talking great about the.
I'm going to turn his microphone up. How about that?
Oh, I think
Ready?
it's going well.
How's,
All I had to do was move it closer because if you can see where it's spiking,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
He should be better now. All
Can you
right.
hear me now? Is it better?
Your part of the conversation just didn't cut it. We didn't.
Yeah,
Nobody,
right. I had to.
we're
I got my tone.
we're learning, but we sound great, don't we? Okay. Anyway, do you think they can improve if they seek help? No.
It even says on one of these.
Easy,
if we
easy
jump
answer.
around,
They don't.
They will not agree to go to therapy.
No. Either they, if they do, so if they do agree to go to, so here's the worst thing a therapist, the worst thing a therapist could say is, why don't the two of you go to marital counseling? It doesn't work on them. They'll throw you under the bus. They'll convince the therapist that, how terrible you are.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard for me to say it's not, I shouldn't think his mic is on.
Oh,
Do you hear him? Put that,
oh wait. That's so weird.
we're going to,
Oh no, I can hear myself.
it's going in. Yeah.
It's in the right one. If you only have what is it called?
Oh yeah. If
If
you
you're
use it,
listening with AirPods,
if you're using with AirPods on one ear, it's not going to cut it.
yeah, yeah, you're not gonna. It's not gonna.
You don't hear Mark? A little bit. I mean, it's turned up here. It's doing it.
I can hear myself. Like I know this is good.
Yeah, but it's not going from there to there.
So it's only coming from your mic, which would mean that I'm so quiet.
But you're not that quiet.
I'm not. I know I'm not.
So
But the mic here.
all that time, you can hear him a little.
Ah,
It's a technical difficulty. We'll work on it next time.
technical difficulties, but it's good because we have a lot of you explaining what it was.
But that's okay. But do talk a little louder, I guess.
Yeah, I'll start talking louder and try to get it over to the other mic.
Well, there is a here. I'm gonna crank your mic up. Ready? Gain here.
Oh, my mic's gain.
Yeah. All right. Is that better?
Test.
Testing. Is that better out there? I don't want to
Yeah.
stop the show here.
Well, actually, what we can do is we can talk about this. We have a few minutes, and I wanted you to kind of describe the ending of a relationship with a narcissist because it looks like that's what the last 10 are.
Okay, sure. Oh, so just a couple more things. They're going to focus on your failures for sure. They'll make you feel like a failure, even though you're not. Still not working. Wow, we're going to have to figure that one out
Yeah,
next time.
next time.
It's like not working at all or low? It's low. You can talk.
Yeah.
Oh, it's only low because of this?
Well, it's only because it's picking up your mic only.
Yikes. Turn it. Okay. It's not that kind of mic, though.
Yeah.
All right, maybe that'll work. All right. We'll have to redo the second half or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So ending a relationship with a narcissist. So, okay. I mean, the book talks about it in detail. Like if you're in a marriage or something, you can't just leave. You have to worry about your finances and your kids and your dogs and like your house. Like it's not that easy. And people do feel trapped, and somehow they feel they can't get out of it. They're stuck. But you should prepare ahead of time. Don't tell the narcissist anything. Start putting away money. Tell your family. Tell people what your intentions are. Seek professional legal advice first. But ultimately, it's not going to get better. I hate to be so negative because psychologists are generally positive because we believe that people can change and improve. They don't improve. It's not going to improve. It's going to get worse. 99 times out of 100. Then they're going to manipulate therapy against you. They're going to manipulate family against you. So you should prepare, take your time, have a strategy. Of course, if there's any kind of physical abuse, leave. You should leave as soon as possible. They do not improve. They do not get better. Tell other people. Be safe about it. Plan. I know it's easier said than done. Of course, I get it, but the idea should be to move forward. Seek people who can really support you, not people who are going to say, well, you know, he's a good guy, because they're all going to say that because he presents as a good guy. A question: is narcissism considered emotional abuse? Yes. And or maltreatment? Both. It's emotional abuse, it's maltreatment, it's abuse. And so the symptoms of when you leave a narcissist, the symptoms that you tend to show are exactly the same as PTSD. It's like it was a trauma, it was a shock, it was like disbelief, it was unreal, it was extreme. And so you show symptoms like very similar to PTSD, if that answers the question. So it is maltreatment, and it's neglect, it's maltreatment, it's manipulation. They're not always physically abusive, but sometimes they are. But that's not the defining thing of a narcissist, in my opinion. They may be physically abusive as well, but that's not the defining feature. The defining feature is like emotional manipulation and abuse. So, seeing that we're having a technical difficulty, we may want to wrap it up.
Yeah.
We covered a lot of the bases, and I hope that we can amplify, like in post production. I hope we can amplify the sound. I can't imagine what happened, but we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna say goodbye from Plainview, New York. This has been Therapy My Way Talk with Mark Tinger and myself, Fred Holtz, and we're gonna wave in unison, unison, unison.
Ooh.